Good morning, good evening, whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you might be doing. We wish to welcome you to the Silverlight Show. The Silverlight shines to illuminate that which lies hidden in darkness. For those of you tuning in today, we welcome you in. A week or two ago, we touched on sovereign citizens. And in my travels on the internet, I've managed to come across a website that makes them look positively sane. And the scary part is, they actually do have a point that needs to be addressed. Let's take a look at this. Copblock.org. Yeah, they had to go with the pun. Cockblock, copblock. And it's a .org. I'll leave a link down in the description. And their motto is, badges don't grant extra rights. Now, we live in the year 2024. Police are no longer regarded as the saints that they were in the 1960s. And it's well known corruption exists. And favors happen for friends of police that don't happen for others. But the members of this particular organization, who I have seen in court cases, seem to think the answer to police shenanigans, shall we say, because I don't really know what word belongs there. It's bigger than corruption, it's bigger than anything, is simply to shout long and to insult people. So if you're loud enough, everything should solve itself. If you go to their page, right now, one of the articles that they're featuring is from February 24th, 2022. So obviously they update regularly. They also have merchandise if you want. They have quite interesting t-shirts, let me tell you that. But I'd like to read you an article from copblock.org, just so you can get a sense of what these people are like. It's about a teenager who was fleeing on a motorcycle while underage. But the headline says, Cop Blocker defeats charges for fleeing on motorcycle while underage. Let's get into the article. In 2016, we featured a video from then 11-year-old Mikey Gordon as he shut down a state trooper's speed trap in Allstead. So at 11 years old, he's going through speed traps. Interesting. In the summer of 2020, at age 15, Mikey was arrested for allegedly refusing to pull over while riding a motorcycle in Keene, leading police on a high-speed chase that ended near Route 12. Okay, so this guy really doesn't like to deal with police. According to police, the then unknown motorcycle operator ditched the bike and ran into the woods before police were able to catch up. Fortunately for the cops, a local snitch, Alexander Short, the owner of Short's Detailing at 58 Forest Avenue in Swansea, approached them and told officer he knew who the operator of the motorcycle was, as the two had been hanging out in the Target parking lot this same night. The local snitch, an owner of a business, and he's got some connection with this person. It's not a snitch, it's called a witness. The article continues. The snitch placed a phone call to Mikey's cell phone, and officers were then able to locate and take him into custody, ultimately returning him home to his parents' house. You know, I don't know what's worse. The fact that Mikey does this crime while in front of somebody who knows him, or that he answers his phone while the police are looking for him. But no, he's the good guy in this article. Remember, this is our protagonist. Because the snitch, one of his friends, is the bad guy. Months later, Mikey was subsequently charged with 2 misdemeanor counts. disobeying an officer, and operating without a valid license. The first count was charged as Class A, which could result in up to a year in jail, and the second count was charged as Class B, which could be a large fine. Okay, I'm actually glad that they wrote that in there because it's a pain in the butt to look up what all these things have as far as punishments go. The Keene police prosecutor offered a plea deal which would have dropped the Class A charge in return for his guilty plea on the Class B, with the punishment being a 30-day loss of license, a $620 fine, plus $720 suspended on condition of good behavior. Now that is a good deal. Let's remember here that he was charged with, what was it again? Disobeying an officer, never a good one, and operating without a valid license. Now my question becomes, how could he be charged operating without a valid license when they're further saying that they're going to have a 30-day loss of license? It's awfully hard to suspend something when somebody doesn't have it. So that's peculiar. Now, I know in these plea deals, they sometimes switch things around to give you the best possible outcome. That's what a prosecutor's job is. It's to get convictions, and that's why you get these ridiculous plea deals going on. But it turns out Mikey is pretty good at his job, or at defending himself. After the state presented its case, Keene District Judge Patrick W. Ryan took the case under advisement and complimented Mikey, telling him, "You did a good job." It was Mikey's first time in court, and he appeared pro se, defending himself without the help of an attorney. Yeah, pat Mikey on the back some more. Normally, when a robed man takes a case under advisement, it's a good sign the verdict will not be guilty. Robed man? You mean the judge? Because usually they're hesitant to deliver a non-guilty verdict in front of an audience and cameras. Judges are more likely to issue favorable verdicts when the cameras are off and no one is around, and that's exactly what happened in this case. Actually, the charges were dismissed according to the case file, which means Mikey wasn't found not guilty. Dismissing charges after the trial has finished is an unusual result, but it's still a solid win for the teenage cop block activists. That's such word salad. Dismissing the charges and not guilty are completely different things, but realistically they result in the same thing. It's not a win, it's not a loss. It just means the evidence wasn't there. After all, the witness was pretty much the only one who knew what was going on, and witnesses can be challenged. Speaking of the witnesses, observers reported that the snitch Alexander Short laughed and told Mikey outside the courtroom, "Have fun in jail." Who is laughing now? One benefit of taking charges to trial is the police have to put snitches or any other undercover agents on the witness stand to make their case, whereas if the defendant takes a plea deal, the snitch is protected from public view. So now everybody knows that Alexander Short of Swazny, New Hampshire, is happy to throw his friends under the bus and rat them to the police for victimless crimes. Congratulations to Mikey for his victory. Wow. Just wow. These guys are happy for a child, teenager is still technically a child, to be disobeying police orders, outing undercover agents, which is their words, not mine, and then they publicly identify the witness, or as they call him, the snitch. In any other case, he would have an incredible anti-defamation lawsuit to file against them. You don't name the people, you just say the witness. But since this is on their front pages from 2022, you can get they're not getting very many victories. In this case, the victory is simply, it would not take a lot of work for a defendant to say, yeah, I was in the field, but I was hunting for blueberries, lost my watch, any number of things. And while the message of copblock.org is, yes, stand up for yourself, they take it into a militant direction that really is not warranted. I said it before. Police need oversight. It's very easy to become overzealous in your job. But these people, as I said, I've seen a few of them in courtrooms. They're not overly common because they're not like sovereign citizens, but at the same token, they'll shout louder and longer than sovereign citizens will, and they won't shut up when a judge tells them to. Just by the language used in this, the snitch, the man in the robe and stuff like that, they're trying to depersonalize them at the same time as calling them out. The article doesn't even know what it wants to do. And I did repeat the name only because I'm reading from the article itself. So if you want to go after anybody, go after the copblock.org people, because they're publishing people's names. We need to be careful of organizations like this because this man owns a business. And I'm willing to bet copblock.org is followed by a few people, but not nearly so many as to make a big damage in his business. But people do crazy things. It's 2024. Nobody's going to deny that somebody's going to be up late one night drinking. Hey, remember that Alexander guy that messed around with little Mikey, who's not old enough to drink, but he's sitting here drinking with us anyway? Yeah, let's go throw paintballs at his business, or let's, there's 10,000 things you can do to inconvenience a business owner. This is basically one person trying to get their outrage out. And there's other articles on the copblock.organization as well. So you have to really slow down when I'm saying that because it sounds so much like another common expression, which might be a good thing, it might be a bad thing. But these people are so filled with rage and willing to celebrate anything, no matter how minor. Like, this is a teenage kid getting away with a minor traffic offense. He blew through a speed trap when he was younger, and that's worth celebrating? Really? It's not that big of a victory in my book. And one day this kid is going to go on to probably try to push his luck a little further and wind up without a license or whatever else, and possibly in the arms of the sovereign citizen movement. As you can see, there's satellite organizations all over the place that just exist in their own orbit, quite isolated from the reality that you and I inhabit. And honestly, it is worrisome because you never know when you might bump into one of these people unless they're having one of their t-shirts. Oh, and the tags. Oof. There's so many tags on this thing. If I read them to you, this episode would be 20 minutes long. And they cite themselves like 4 or 5 times, and it's really quite comedic. But like I said, don't take my word for it. Do the research. Find out for yourself. And we hope you found this episode of the SIlverlight Show enjoyable. If you did, please like, share, because sharing is caring. Don't forget to click the bell button down below. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. And we hope you have a fantastic